So when you think of one day last week when I sat down with you on Monday for a new studio that we had and a new opportunity we had, I think the AdWords campaign was live on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I think I sent a text on Friday to you, can we sort this? You said, yeah, let's meet Monday. And on Tuesday we were live and up and running and already seeing results from that, already seeing revenue generated from that sort of thing.
I'm here with Michael Mullaney from Women's Fitness. Michael is the owner there, and we've been working with him for about 3 years. So Michael, if you could just tell me a little about the business.
Yeah.
What you do.
So we have a gym in Cork, we have a gym in Limerick, we have a gym in Belfast on the Lisburn Road, and we have our latest venture is a yoga studio in Lucan. We set up the business we took over the business in 2010, and we very quickly realised that AdWords and the social media and the advertising side of things was quite important. I'd played around with the AdWords for a while myself, and then I think after about a year and a half or 2 years I realised how complicated the whole thing was, and what I ended up doing was going to one of the, I suppose, bigger agencies in Dublin. I thought that the bigger agencies would have a very good impact, and I suppose we stayed with them for about 2 or 3 years before I got a recommendation to come to yourself. So Women's Fitness is probably the biggest fitness centre in Cork and one of the biggest ones in Limerick, and we have grown consistently over the past 7 or 8 years, and hopefully we'll continue to grow and open more locations nationwide.
Brilliant. So you touched there on working with the bigger agencies, that you were working with another agency before you were working with us. So I suppose I'd like to know, I suppose, what was the relationship with them versus what it's like with us, and also results-wise the difference you saw.
So I suppose we went with one of the bigger agencies because I suppose we worked on the basis that the bigger agency you get better results, and you need to be where the big players are. And from a sales and marketing perspective, to be fair, they were quite good. They signed us up quite quickly. Their fees were what the fees are. Ultimately, that doesn't really matter if you're getting the results. What I found, I suppose, my experience with them was that we were quite a small fish to them, and I think that unless you're a massive player, unless you're one of the biggest spenders in the advertising side of things, you're probably not a high priority. And what we found was that we were put with maybe someone who was perhaps not majorly experienced, somewhat junior in their team, and I understand we're not a massive spender on those side of things, but we found the results were okay, but I didn't find them significantly improved on what I was doing myself. So ultimately there was a big question about the bang for our buck. Were we getting the return that we wanted from the investment that we made? And more importantly, were we missing out on opportunities?
Yeah.
Was there places that we should have been that we weren't? Was there strategies that we should have been employing that we weren't? And was there experience available to us that we just weren't getting and weren't getting the benefit of?
Yeah. I suppose that's the one thing with us, is there probably isn't a month goes by where we don't actually sit down and go through everything, go through the data, see where there's gaps, see where there's more potential, see where we might need to cut back on.
Yeah.
So that, we obviously it's very actively managed. I suppose that is a big advantage of going with a smaller agency like ours, where we spend an awful lot of time on our clients.
Yeah.
And in terms then, when you did make the switch, how quickly did you see a difference in results? What type of results did you see? I remember your goal for me was, I want to be everywhere. That was your goal for me, and I was very focused on more the analytics and the tracking side of things. So we kind of compromised a bit there, I suppose.
We did, and I suppose it was a recommendation from another of your clients who and his word, I vividly remember his words. He said to me, "This guy has changed my business," and I said, "Okay, well, I'm not very happy with what I'm doing right now and the results I'm getting right now, or the attention that I'm getting right now, or the access that I'm getting right now. Friday afternoon, someone's out of the office, you don't get a reply till Monday afternoon, and that's 4 days or 3 days of trading where it could have an impact on the business." So we got a recommendation. We said, look, we'll try it out. I think I was going to take it into my own hands at that stage. So we said we try out Cliq and try out yourself. And I think the first thing I remember, the most immediate impact was you understood our business very quickly and you understood what we were looking to achieve, you were quite focused on the analytics, whereas I'm less focused on the analytics side of things, and I'm more in terms of I'd rather be everywhere so that we're top of mind when people make that decision or have that impulse to do something on the fitness or the weight loss side of things. What I also find is in terms of access, we speak. You were on holidays last week and you were texting me back or replying to my calls.
Yeah.
I've often texted you on the weekend. I've texted you late at night. I've communicated. Not that I'm recommending people do that.
I was going to say, I don't know if I want everyone to know that.
but if I have a problem or there is an issue that's immediately impacting our business, I've no hesitation in picking up the phone, texting you, emailing you, going, "This is a problem. Can you sort it? What's happening with this?" And I get a response. Which is why I couldn't see myself ever going back to a big agency. You just don't have that type of relationship. You don't have that type of customer service. And being a small business owner myself, I understand that unless your customers are absolutely raving about you, you don't really have a long-term future. So from our perspective, we need to be responsive to our customers. We need to be where our customers are looking and thinking, and we need the response from our provider of the service.
So if you were talking to another business owner, I suppose, A, would you recommend this, and B, what would you say to them about our services and what we provide?
Okay, I suppose I'll answer B first. There's a temptation, I suppose, when you're running a business, especially a small business, you're looking at every single cost, and there has to be a return from every single euro or pound or cent or penny that you invest. And it's very easy to go, I'll do the AdWords myself, I'll do the Facebook marketing myself, I'll do this myself, I'll do that myself, because you're watching every single penny. What I've found, and my experience has been, is that the more we've invested with yourselves, the more of a return we've got. So it's been an investment. I don't see it as a cost, I see it as an investment. And it's very easy to faff about for a long time. And essentially, to me, trying to work out some of the how to manage the keywords and how to manage your advertising spend is a bit like trying to fumble around in the dark. You might find what you're looking for, you might hit it. A lot of the time you'll miss out on opportunities. So that's what my comment to any business owner would be. You need someone to manage this for you, unless you're an expert in the field. Stick to the day job for yourself. If you're regardless of what field you're in, if you're an optician, you need to be working on people's eyes and doing your optical examinations and looking after your customers, rather than messing around with your social media and your advertising side of things. Get an expert to do that. Outsource it, because the return on investment is significant. So then part A, would I recommend? Absolutely. I think, from our perspective, when we have had issues, when we have had opportunities come our way, the response is almost immediate. So when you think of one day last week, when I sat down with you on Monday for a new studio that we had, and a new opportunity we had, I think the AdWords campaign was live on Tuesday. I think I sent the text on Friday to you, can we sort this? You said, yeah, let's meet Monday. And on Tuesday we were live and up and running and already seeing results from that, already seeing revenue generated from that sort of thing.